What's up everyone? I'm Jeff, the founder of Worldwide Cyclery, and today is an amazing day. It is the day that wireless electronic mountain bike drivetrains become a thing. If you've been following the mountain bike media in the last 6 months or so, you've probably seen some leaks and spy shots of SRAM's wireless drivetrain. Nino Schurter has been running it and doing some XC World Cups on it, but today is the day that they are officially launching it, and it's going to be available to buy for everyone this month. It is the Eagle AXS groupo. They're launching X01 and X01, and along with this is a wireless electronic dropper post, the Reverb AXS. We're going to dive into everything right now. So it is 2019, and in the last 5 or so years, electronics of all kinds have been making their way onto bicycles, whether it be actual motors, drivetrains, dropper posts, suspension technology. Electronics are just becoming more of a thing in everything we do these days. So it's really cool to see sort of SRAM come into the game on the mountain bike side of thing with a drivetrain and a dropper post, because their wireless road drivetrain was really cool and innovative and just worked amazing and was received very well. So to see it come into the mountain bike space is awesome, and we were super excited to get the chance to actually play with the stuff, ride it on the trail, see how it worked, and sort of just dive into what the future holds in terms of drivetrain. So let's dive into some of the specs of the new Eagle AXS drivetrain. Well, depending on how long you have been a mountain biker, you sort of know the game. Most of these companies come out with their higher end top tier product first, and then they slowly trickle that technology down to their less expensive groupos. And SRAM has always been known to do that, and when they launched Eagle, when they launched their 11-speed stuff, they did that there, and they're going to do the same thing here. So they have XX1 Eagle AXS, which is their top tier drivetrain for the cross-country bikes, and X01 Eagle AXS, which is their top tier drivetrain for trail/enduro bikes. I'm sure you're wondering how much these things cost, and I will get to that right now. So X01 is $1,900 and XX1 Eagle AXS is $2,000. That is for a full groupo. So that includes your cranks with chainring, your rear derailleur with a battery, since it needs a battery these days, your shifter, which is now known as a controller, I was informed, your cassette, your chain, and your charger cord. It also has a little gap adjustment tool, so helps you when you're installing it. So 5-piece groupos are going to be available this month for X01 for your trail or enduro bikes and XX1 for your cross-country bikes. These things look absolutely amazing. My favorite thing about them being the rainbow colorway on the XX1 Eagle AXS stuff. Looks incredible. There is a lot to these drivetrains in terms of features and specs, and a million questions you're probably asking yourself. So please visit the blog post that we wrote about all of this. The link to that is in the video description below. And I don't want these drivetrains to totally overshadow the Reverb AXS, which is another phenomenal product we should talk about right now. When we first heard the name being Reverb AXS, I was a little disappointed because I really wanted it to be the Everb, since I thought that was just a catchy and good name for an electronic reverb dropper post. But it does make sense why they named it Reverb AXS, because AXS is the sort of umbrella name that SRAM is using to signify all of the electronic components they are making that all work together. This being their new eTap stuff as well, so eTap AXS for the road, you can actually pair that with the controllers that work on the mountain bike, so you can get pretty interesting setups in terms of like a gravel bike with flat bars if you're using a road rear derailleur, or drop bars with a mountain bike drivetrain, etc. All of that goes under the AXS umbrella. But the Reverb AXS, these things are $800. They come in, I think, all the same specs that the traditional reverbs do. So 30.9, 31.6, 34.9 diameters, and then all the same travel options as well, 100, 125, 150, and 170. So to talk about how this post and these drivetrains work on the trail, I'm gonna bring in our head mechanic, Liam, because he actually got the chance to spend some time on a Yeti SB130 riding these things out on our local trails, and he can tell you all about how they actually work. So, Liam, what was the first thing you noticed on the trail when you were riding the new drivetrain?
The first thing I noticed was how easy it is to shift gears. It's just like you're pushing a button on a keyboard. Push a button, you're shifting gears, and it's super easy. After a couple minutes, it's, you know, natural. You're just clicking buttons, and it's super easy.
So, can you shift under load?
Yeah, you can shift under load. You just shift and it goes.
but that's kind of like the big difference between electronic drivetrain versus mechanical, right?
Yeah, I'd say, I'd say riding mechanical, you know, you kind of got to think about like you're driving a manual car. You kind of got to let up on the power a little. You can't just be cranking down power, slamming gears. You're gonna have shifts, you're gonna mess up teeth, you're gonna mess up the chain. Electronic drivetrain kind of takes a lot of that human error out and just shifts no matter what. Putting down power, climbing, you know.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So one of the things you mentioned to me was that when you first hopped on, it sort of felt, I guess it would be the default way it was set up for the upshift and the downshift, and you didn't like that, so you wanted to change it, and you can with the app, right?
Yeah, so when I first started riding, we rode here from the shop, rode up the street to the trailhead, and they wanted me to get some time on it, just how I brought it set up, you know, just no questions asked, because you can just bolt it on the bike and ride. You don't need an app to set it up. So you can just bolt it on and ride away. However, the cool thing is the app allows you to customize multiple things, one being what each button does. So your right-hand controller has two buttons, up and a down, which can be either way on the derailleur. And then your reverb is also a button that's under the AXS umbrella that if you felt like it, maybe you're used to drop bars, you could have that be the shifter and one of your buttons on the right-hand side be the reverb controller. So just by using the app, open up the app, it's a simple screen. Literally, I'm pretty sure there's just a reverse symbol. You just hit the reverse symbol, and now the buttons are oriented in a different way, and it's the way I preferred it. So I was like, I'm not into this, I want them switched. We pulled over, hit the reverse button, it was switched, and I was riding in 10 seconds. And now, I wanted it so the bottom button was dropping gears into harder. So as you're cranking down power out of the corner, you just got to hit the bottom one, and you're, grabbing gears, cranking away.
Got it. So thumb only shifter, you can't use your index finger, or can you?
You can use an index finger. So there's a little nub on the front side. So climbing, I found it super useful. You just throw a little finger down there, and it's the same way. So up or down is kind of one button, but it's whichever way you toggle it, it'll shift.
Got it, very cool. And the Reverb AXS, how did that feel?
Reverb AXS is super awesome. It's really light actuation. So you click the button, and it's a very light button to click, just like the other ones. Once you hit the button, you can drop it all the way by holding it, or if you just need that, sometimes you just need that 75 mil drop on a tech climb, just to get a little bit of room. And you touch that and you drop it just a hair, just how you need it, and it's very fast. There's no lag. So right when you're hitting the button, the post is moving whatever way you want it.
Nice, that's cool. So some of the specs on the drivetrain, weight-wise, SRAM's claiming they're about the same as mechanical, right?
Yeah, SRAM claims that they're, I think within, they claim 5 grams on XX1 and 15 on X01.
Got it.
We don't know if that's with or without batteries. We don't have the actual product here for us to test. Like we said, it's just on the bike.
Yeah.
But that's what they claim.
Definitely. So upcoming review, we're gonna go way more in depth with sort of all of the weights and comparing all of the Eagle mechanical stuff to the Eagle AXS stuff and sort of dive into details there. So compatibility for the new Eagle AXS versus the old mechanical AXS. What's the deal there?
So Eagle AXS is backwards compatible as far as cassette and chain ring goes. So you will be able to, down the road, buy a controller and a derailleur and adapt that to your current mechanical Eagle. When that is down the road. Yeah. Right now you can just buy the 5-piece group as a complete group. X01 Eagle AXS, XX1 Eagle AXS.
Yeah, got it, sweet. Battery life. So I guess SRAM was saying the derailleur is about 20 to 25 hours. That's a rechargeable battery, which is the same as on the Reverb Dropper Post, so you can swap them out if you wanted. Same as eTap on the road, right?
Yep.
Even the pre-existing stuff?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So yeah, all those batteries are interchangeable. You can carry a spare if you need to, which you might if you're doing some crazy backcountry stuff. Yeah, or you're on a trip, bring a spare.
Yeah, got it, cool. And then the battery in the shifter or controller is a regular CR2032 and it lasts 2 years, they say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So waterproofing, they claim it's totally waterproof, dropper post and derailleur and controller.
Yeah.
Good to you?
Yeah, I mean, on my test ride, I didn't get a chance to test that, but we came back and I did wash it all, you know, after we rode it. And yeah, the E-Tap, original E-Tap is waterproof. I'd assume they carry it over. Bikes are ridden in all conditions, especially mountain bikes. So yeah, it's all waterproof, weatherproof, and good to ride all the time.
Yeah, so similar stuff. Hose, it's fine. Don't blast high pressure at it, just like you wouldn't do to a sealed bearing or a fork or a shock seal. Similar stuff right there. Nothing new there. Overall, did you absolutely love it? Were you stoked? Were you impressed?
Yeah, I really liked it. You know, after half an hour of riding, you fully get used to it. You're just shifting like normal. You don't think anything of it. The big difference was the A to B test. When I came back to the shop and I rode a bike with standard X01 mechanical Eagle, you really notice how much effort goes into that and how much throw your fingers are doing. So you really do get spoiled once you're on that electric shifting, and it is really great. It is worth the price, and it performs amazingly.
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, $1,900 for X01 and $2,000 for XX1. I honestly thought it was going to be way more expensive than that, and looking at how nice and how quality everything is, I was pretty impressed at that price point. Talking about price points, when they come out with a high-end drivetrain like this, we're all going to be interested in when is it going to trickle down to GX and NX. That could be huge, right? I mean, price points could come down. All bikes could be electronic drivetrains in the future.
Yeah, I mean...
Predictions?
Yeah, I mean, they don't have E-Tap trickle down yet, but they could.
That's true, they don't.
You know, and it could be a higher level thing, or it could trickle down and everything's gonna be electronic. I mean, we see it with phones, we see it with everything. Everything's affordable now, and it's trickled all down, so technology's there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, one day maybe it won't cost you $2,000 to have an electronic drivetrain on your mountain bike, but we will see. Now here are some key points regarding the drivetrain and the dropper. Well, thank you guys for watching. Let us know down in the comments what you think of electronic mountain bike drivetrains and just electronic stuff on mountain bikes in general. Make sure to share this video with all of your mountain bike buddies. Hit the blog post so you can get even more details on all of this stuff. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.